Yes, villains. What a day it is. Welcome to Villa in Noir. This is my match reaction to Villa 2, Burnley 1. And what a great feeling it is to enter an international break on the back of 4 consecutive wins. Listen, before I do anything, make sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe. I want to hear everything you have to say. Doesn't it feel good, guys? Doesn't it feel good to be on a winning streak? Finally, doesn't it feel good to get some points under our belt? You know, this is it's a great feeling, man. It's a great feeling, and you know what? It was overall a better performance from the Villa players, man. I think it's clear to see now what Unai's trying to do with the setup, what he's trying to do with our attack and our defense. You know, so I'm pleased. You know, I'm pleased with what we did today. It was a bit shaky. It was a bit shaky in that last 15-20 minutes, but we got the win. That's the main thing. We got the win. 4 wins on the bounce. I want to give a massive shout out to our defense today. I think we were quite solid at the back. I think there's a really great budding partnership between Powell and Ezri starting to come forth. I think Ezri, you know, I know I'll rewind a few videos, I was quite critical of him, but I've seen him kind of blossom in the last few games as a leader on the pitch, but also in his defensive style, in his assurance at the back. You know, he doesn't look uncomfortable as much on the ball anymore. Maybe he's a little bit more confident now that he's got his starting berth pretty much locked in. And, you know, even Pau Torres, you know, his ability to play the ball through the lines, but also defensively, he looked comfortable on the ball. He didn't look like he was under pressure. So brilliant game overall from them guys. Luca Dean as well, Matty Cash. You know what? All 4 of them did a great job today. It wasn't great to concede the goal in the manner that we did. To have a free header in the middle of the box at this level, it isn't something that we want to accept. But listen, guys, I'm not trying to be too downcast today because we have won. And you know, compared to where we were the last international break where we'd lost and we didn't know what we were doing, we were missing player depth, we were missing squad depth, and now just looking at the players that are starting to come back. Amadou Onana came off the bench today, Ross Bartley came off the bench today, and it just feels like we're getting back to where we were this time last season. Villa Park, is it a fortress again? I don't think it lost its fortressness. It's not even a word. I don't think it lost its fortressness, but we're getting back, man. This is good overall. I know many have been critical. I've been critical, but Morgan Rogers is starting to get back to his best. There was even a distinct difference between him in the first half and the second half. I don't know whether Unai decided to play him a little bit differently. He started collecting the ball a bit deeper and turning and running. And that's the Morgan Rogers we want to see. And one thing that came through in the second half today that was even missing in the first half was that last pass wasn't lacking. You know, that pass to Donyell Malen for the second goal, it was inch perfect. It allowed Malen to just jump onto the ball and create a great finish. Malen, you know, I think, if I'm honest, you know, I know Ollie's still not there, but I think that was our best front 3. And it felt like a front 3. I know that Unai said 4-2-3-1, but I think sometimes he sends out these formation or sends these out to the broadcasters or whatnot as a little bit like a smoke screen, because we never seem to play the formation that he puts out there. It felt like there was much more of a front 3, a little bit of they were changing positions and swapping and all this kind of stuff, but there was a little bit of coherence in that front 3 that I haven't seen from us to this point in the season. So hopefully, I wonder if this is something that we're going to see a little bit more with Malen, Rogers and Watkins fronting our attack. You know, great performance overall, lots of movement. I feel like we're still off the pace in front of goal. There was many chances in that first half to put the game away, and I think if we become a little bit more clinical, we won't see ourselves putting ourselves under unnecessary pressure if a team score a goal in the last 15-20 minutes, because it did get a little bit shaky when they scored the goal. It felt like, you know, maybe they're going to come through and get the equaliser, but you know what, we survived and we saw it out. And you know what, Happy days, happy days. Villains, we must be happy. Villains, we must be ecstatic at the fact that we are 4 wins on the bounce. We've put some distance between ourselves and the relegation zone now. We're in 13th place, which is, 3 points off 5th. 5 points off 4th place. So, if we come back now, I know we've got a little bit of a potentially difficult spell with Spurs, City and Liverpool back to back. But I feel a lot more confident now that we can receive those teams at home. We can go away from home and actually get some results because they look beatable. They have been beatable. I am going to do a debrief probably tomorrow so we can get into the isms and the schisms. We can get into the nooks and crannies of our setup, of our tactics, of our approach. But from looking at it, it was a great performance. Boubacar Kamara and Lamar Bogard, listen, surprisingly solid. Not so much from Boubacar, but Bogard, he reminds me a little bit of Kamara. He has that tenacity in defence, but he likes to receive the ball on the half turn. And there's a few times in this game where he took players out of the game by just dropping his shoulder and moving and letting the ball come across him and creating more space for him on the other side. And I think from a place where we play a double pivot, it can become negative. But if you've got two players, if you've got individuals that are willing to play on the half turn, it allows us to have a little bit more thrust going forward. One thing I will say, and I will talk about this more tomorrow probably, is that when we are going forward, when we are in transition, there's not as much urgency that we've seen in the past. Players bombing on. But I'm not trying to be negative. There's still places to improve. No team is perfect, but those are things that we can work on. And if this is where we are now, and I know the teams that we've beaten, are they amazing teams? No, they're not by any stretch of the imagination. But we had to go into this next international break with a better run of games. And I said this a few weeks ago. I said how we enter into this next international break is crucial for how we as the fans feel, but also the players coming back into what will be potentially a difficult 3 games coming back into the Premier League. But I am happy. We seem to have a little bit more stability. Unai, should we have ever lost trust in him? I don't think we should ever have lost trust in him. He knows what he's doing. He's an experienced manager. He knows what he's doing. So, guys, happy days, man. Happy days. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you were at the game, what was it like in Villa Park? I know it might have been a bit tense towards the end, but we got there. Let me know. Like this video. Comment. Let me hear your thoughts on your feelings. Subscribe to the channel. I'll get back to you more on a debrief tomorrow. Listen, as always, up the Villa. Peace.